That worrying can handicap. Worrying can break your trust. Worrying is a tool of the devil. And when you get caught up in your own anxieties of worrying, it will defeat you. Gideon was a man of God. Judges chapter 6 and 25, and when Gideon recognized that the odds were against him, and I don't care how well you think that you are a Christian, there are going to be times when you feel like the odds are just against you. Living your best, the devil seems like he can put up a wall and have you think you're the smallest thing in the room. Gideon felt that way, and God had just spoke to Gideon.
Yes, sir.
Gideon felt like he was on top of the world. And all of a sudden, here comes doubt and worry. And God had to speak to him again. The Lord said unto him, Gideon, I'm going to give you two things. First of all, peace. Amen. Stop worrying. That's what peace does. Peace stops you from worrying. When you got the peace of God, why are you worrying? Amen. I know in this world, when things happen, you want to speak out against them, and you don't see yourself in it. But when you have the peace of God, and we testify every week, you ask somebody, hey, I got the peace of God. You got it in Monday. But you got to get the peace of God. You don't worry. Despite what it looks like, despite what the forecast for life looks like, if God is in charge and you have his peace, why are you worried? So the first thing that God told Gideon in Judges 6, he said, first of all, you got my peace. That's your settle right now. And once he told Gideon, he said, you got my peace. I instructed you to do certain, and you have my peace. Notice he didn't tell him everything will be all right. He said, you got my peace. Amen. In other words, no matter what you go through, Gideon, I will be there to render peace. All right. And then he told him, and stop fearing. That's the language he used. When people worry, they fear. Amen. He told the very next thing he told him, after he told him, you got my peace, he said, and stop fearing. Amen. Amen. Church, I want to say, stop fearing. All right. The same God that spoke to Gideon is the same God that we deal with. Amen. The same God that sent his son, Jesus, who died on the cross of a vicarious death in our stead. That's the same God. And he's saying, stop fearing. Amen. Amen. Have peace. How tough is that? And we allow our fears, they handcuff us. Yeah. We can't go forward, we can't go back, we can't go up, we can't go down. But our fear. Everything to us looks like a giant. There are some giants in the land, but we serve a God that's bigger. Amen. Amen. And so, stop fearing. He told him. So, these words in the Old Testament. And then in Matthew 28, Jesus himself has to speak to his disciples, and he said, be not afraid. I wonder why they use this. Every one of them were aware of the fact that fear cripples. Amen. Fear defeats. He said, be not afraid. Paul later on writes to the church of Philippians chapter 4, verse 6. Paul writes to the church and he said, stop being anxious. We can have a plan laid out. And Satan will come and disrupt that whole thing. And he doesn't have to do anything physically. All he has to do is put a little doubt in your mind. Put a little doubt in your mind. So Paul writes to the church in Corinth, he said, stop being anxious. And the biggest thing is that we as the church, we as Christians, we soon forget who we are. In other words, we're like those that I just mentioned a minute ago in Matthew 6. As soon as God takes care of a physical need, and that's what most of the church think God is anyway. We think he's a cosmic Santa Claus. And he'll take care of our physical needs, and we're all right. But God can deliver us. He can take care of all of our needs. Yeah. But we just have to trust him, and we have to be submissive. And the biggest part of it is submitting. We have to make an unconditional surrender. Like Isaiah, Lord, here am I. Use me. Telling Jeremiah, you're the potter, and I'm the shape me. Mold me. Some of us, he's trying to mold, and we resist it. We don't want him to mold us. We want, once you get, some people don't like change.